And our next guest here on the OKPreps recruiting report is Carl Albert linebacker Reese Collier. Again, this is one of the episodes featuring some of the top unsigned prospects in Oklahoma's 2020 class. Reese, fantastic career, man. I mean, you can't script it any better, going 4 for 4, perfect, with 4 state championships in 4 years. Let's start right there with your career. 4 gold balls in 4 seasons is obviously very special. Not a lot of people get to experience that. You've had a little bit of time, about a month and a half now since the end of the season. When you look back on your career, your 4 years here, what stands out to you?
First off, thank you for having me on the show. I think what stands out to me is, maturity. A lot of us have matured, and then just our teammates. We've stuck together these 4 years. We've been lucky enough to go out and win 4 gold balls, but I mean, I'm just proud of my team to see that all the obstacles we've overcame. Piedmont was definitely an obstacle that we had to overcome, and we just faced it as like, let's do it. So.
And we're definitely going to get into that. Obviously, that was a big storyline going into this season, was the winning streak. And, I talked with you guys back in August, and you guys were pretty consistent about not really caring about the streak, or, just taking it one game at a time. It doesn't matter. That stuff is not even in your mindset. Talk about that approach where you guys were able to put that kind of stuff aside, where everybody in Oklahoma was looking at Carl Albert in 2019, looking at you guys to see what you would do, if you would trip up, when you would trip up. How are you able to kind of put that aside week after week?
We just go in each week, with the plan of winning. We're going to give it our all, but definitely the streak, is something that we really never cared about. We'd be in the locker room. We never talked about it because it didn't mean much. Obviously our goal is to win 14 games in a row, but that's not the end goal. We at the end of the day, we all came together. We all want the same goal, which is to raise the gold ball up, and we accomplished it 4 times, which is pretty outstanding.
Now, give me the real answer. How upset were you guys after the Piedmont loss?
I definitely we were definitely pissed off.
Yeah.
We should have won that game. But it was a great game. I give it up for Piedmont. They came, they had a great game plan, and they executed way better than what we did. So they deserved to win that game. Now getting off, after the game, it was a great thing for the team because it was like you guys aren't unbeatable. So I mean, if y'all aren't going to come together, then you won't win it all.
Was it almost kind of a blessing in disguise, losing in early October? Because that honestly, when you guys lost that night, I was, immediately people were like, well, who's the new team to beat in 5A? I was like, honestly, it's still Carl Albert, because you can make the argument that they're even more dangerous now because they're pissed off.
Yes.
Was that a blessing in disguise to not have to answer any more questions about the streak, things like that, going after the state record?
Yes, I think it was definitely a blessing in disguise. A lot of our guys, sometimes they would get caught up, win after win, Then after a while it goes away, you're like, okay, well, a win isn't that important anymore. So I think it just regrouped us back together and was like, you guys are beatable, If you guys don't come to work every single day and grind out your hardest, then you're going to get beat.
How have you individually grown as a player over the last couple of years from, watching this happen on the sideline as a freshman and a sophomore to being a big part of the defense, last season as a senior, obviously? How have you grown as a player?
I've grown. I've learned defense. I learned everything really. I want to give a shout out to all my coaches, putting me in the right spots. Coach Herbert, Coach Corley, Coach Derek, Coach Farley. Everybody on that coaching staff has really, brought me in as if I was their own. As long as everybody else on the team, and we just talked. I knew I was gonna get the moment to shine, so I just waited it out. you know, and learned everything that I could. But it was definitely a blessing to have, you know, guys like R.T. Sherman, Louis Catone, you know, above me so I could watch and, you know, learn from them every day at practice.
Then we mentioned the loss to Piedmont. You got a second shot at them in the semifinals. I don't think, you know, I think everybody in Oklahoma except for Piedmont thought Carl Albert was going to win that game because of the revenge factor. How fired up were you guys to get another crack at the team that beat you in October?
Oh, we were fired up, you know, right after the game, you know. It was like, I don't care, you know, I just want to see Piedmont again, you know. First or second round, you know, we played Duncan and McAllister, but it was like we want that moment to play Piedmont again, you know, because we people were doubting us, talking about what if you guys see Piedmont again, you know. And it was just something that we wanted because we knew we could beat them, you know. We didn't have our A game, you know. So it was just things like that. So we were just definitely excited, you know, get the crack back at them.
You get a shutout in the semifinals. You punch your ticket to the championship, and then it's McGinnis again, third time in 4 years. Talk about that championship game where, you know, honestly, I think it would have been a little bit closer if Nick doesn't get hurt. He has to leave the game. I know Carl Albert, you guys went through some injuries as well. Alphonse got banged up. Talk about that game, playing McGinnis again after just seeing them in Week 10. You guys were dominant on senior night, but McGinnis played you guys way closer in the rematch.
Definitely, Nick is a big key part of their success. You know, we had a lot of injuries going into Week 14. I had an ankle injury that I suffered in Week 13 against Piedmont. Alphonse and multiple guys were just hurt. But you know, we talked about it as a group, and you're like, and when everybody was like, you know, we're not gonna sit out. We have no choice. You know, it's time to strap it up. You know, we got ready for McGinnis and Nick and everything like that. So I mean, I don't know. I can't say that it would be a closer or further away game if everybody was healthy on both sides of the ball. But we just knew that it would be a great game going into it. You know, it wouldn't be like Week 10.
Right. Let's talk about, you know, the four-peat, winning 4 in a row, going out perfect in your high school career. It's been done a couple of times in Carl Albert history. A couple senior classes have been able, you know, obviously the five in a row, late 90s, early 2000s. 2 senior classes were able to win 4 straight. When you think about that, when you think about 4 consecutive state championships and how rare that is, and this Carl Albert football program, you know, what sticks out to you?
You know, just maturity, toughness, grit, grind. You know, that's what the Carl Albert program is all about. You know, every day is a grind. Every day is a new day to get better, and we look at that and we want to take that opportunity to get better.
What's next for this Titan program? Because obviously, as a senior, you and a lot of other guys in that same position, you're trying to leave this program better than you found it. You're trying to you know, pass the torch, so to speak. Having witnessed the last several championship teams for Carl Albert, it's a brotherhood. You're passing from one class to another. What do you think that the future holds for this upcoming Carl Albert
They
team?
have a chance to be great, dominant again. All the young kids out there, you know, they grind. They were a major part of our success playing scout team. You know, they look up to us, and we try to give them a positive role model to look up to. But every guy out there, you know, they have something to prove, and I know for a fact that they'll be ready this upcoming season.
All right, let's talk about your recruitment. That's why we're here. We're you know, it's obviously a couple weeks away from signing day. One of the top guys in Oklahoma left unsigned. Still a decision to make. Where are you at right now in the process?
Where I'm still considering all schools. You know, I'm still talking to some schools. I know things that might not pop off until the day before signing day, so I'm waiting it out, seeing, weighing my options and things like that. But I'm definitely open to all schools still.
How stressful is that to basically be playing that waiting game where, you know, you're waiting for a school to pull the trigger and they're going to pull the trigger based on another kid's decision? How stressful is that?
It can be very stressful if you let it get to you. For me, you know, all I ever wanted was just an opportunity to prove myself at that next level. Going D2, D3, NAIA, it's still another opportunity to play football again, the game I love, and it's also an opportunity to go to the NFL. So wherever school I end up at, D1 or not, I'm coming in. I want to play. I want to change the program, and I want to make a big difference. And someday I want to play in the NFL. So, I mean, it's just if you let it get to you, it can be stressful at times, or if you think about it in other positive ways, then you're all good to go.
How much have your teammates and even former guys who have gone through this process, how have they helped you as you navigate your way?
They've helped me a lot. I talk to cats that have graduated all the time, and not everybody's going to end up at the same place playing like they were in high school. You don't get to choose. The coaches have to want you, and just go wherever you feel like is home. Anything can happen with the coaching jobs in college. It's going to be it's going to be a big difference in that. But it's a business. To just stay positive and know why you're there.
You mentioned, some of the things with recruiting and, coaches who want you. They're basically, taking their pick. You're not guaranteed anything when it comes to playing at the next level. When it comes to your relationships with the coaches who have been recruiting you, what's been something that stood out? Who has been standing out as far as schools that are consistently talking to you?
All the schools that I've talked to have stood out by far. What I like about going on these college visits is there's something unique and special about each and every place that you go to. You just have to realize it and look at it and see which special place has that it factor for you.
This defense that just wrapped up 4 consecutive championships, incredibly special. I think you guys gave up like 6 points a game all season. That's pretty sick. There were plenty of shutouts. We mentioned the semifinal shutout against Piedmont. How is that going to help you, being a part of a defense so dominant? You've seen just about everything over the course of your high school career. How's that going to help you in your preparation for the next level?
It'll help me a lot, making these calls and making these adjustments and just seeing what game plans that our coaches prepare for us each and every week. It'll definitely open my eyes up. So now when I get to the next level, I can see things that I haven't saw like I was in high school. I can adapt to them faster and make those calls faster.
What are you looking forward to the most over the next couple of weeks? Obviously, finding out where you're going to end up is number one
yes.
on the list, without a doubt. But other than that, what are you looking forward to over the next couple of weeks as we get closer to signing day?
I'm looking forward to it, but I'm just ready to make that decision. I'm ready to find a new home for sure.
Final question is what we ask, to wrap up these interviews. If you had, and look, the resume speaks for itself as far as what you've done in your career. 4 state championships. I know the Oklahoman named you Defensive Player of the Year, a big honor without a doubt when you consider some of the other guys in Oklahoma. Basically sell yourself to a program. What is a college program? What is college program X getting when they get Reese Collier?
When they get me, they're going to get the hardest working player on the team, somebody that's ready to grit, grind, tough everything out, and I want to come and they're getting somebody that's going to change the program for sure, academically and football-wise, I think I'll end up one day as one of the greats if I keep doing what I'm doing.
Look, I don't question you. There's no doubt about that. Like I said, the resume speaks for itself. Fantastic career. It's been fun watching you the last couple of years, and I'm looking forward to what the future holds for you, man.
Thank you. I appreciate you for having me.